joining APC because of national interest. It is just selfish interest. It is just either not to be rigged out because they know that they have seen what happened in Edo, because APC never win Edo state. PDP won Edo free and square. So none of them want to have the Edo treatment. I'm talking of the first-time governors. Then for Okowa and so on, they have been driven by the fear of EFCC. Understand me? So yeah, APC is a bad product. Nobody in his good senses will go and patronize a bad product. So if the situation continues up to 2027, even if all the 36 state governors join APC and the election is free and fair, nothing will save Bondamed Tinubu.
All right, let me now take this back to Mr. Stanley, who's with us virtually. Taking a look at the third force. Now, Rufai is not talking about the APC. He's not talking about the PDP. Can a credible third force realistically emerge in Nigeria's political system? Or is this just recycled rhetoric that we've heard before?
Hello? Okay. Well, the issue of the third force, if I'm right, you are referring to the people, and maybe the new party or this is they're about to form. And I keep saying, 2 years is still a long time.
Yes.
Nobody, if a third force comes and is strong enough, they form a new party, I think that would be for the interest of Nigerians. But the thing is that in the past, like you said, they have done that, and at the end of the day, nothing much happened. Nothing much happened. And with the kind of president we have, when he won election, he was outside power. And we knew what happened in this country. He did everything he could to capture power. And I'm very sure he will do even much more to retain the power. So that is my fear. We are not in a country where our vote actually counts. If our vote counts, then it's a different thing. If we are in a country where our vote counts, then what Rufai is saying, I will agree with him. Because the people are disenchanted. The people are not happy with what is happening in this country. And if we are allowed to vote and our vote is being counted, of course, this government cannot win the next election. That is my fear. You will see them come together as politicians. When it gets to that time, they will do little or nothing. Some people said why Jonathan was defeated was because of the kind of person he is. There are a lot of people who will be in that position and will do everything, even though it means that the lives of people should go. They won't mind to ensure that they retain that position. And I see those kind of desperation in the present government. They will do as much as they can to ensure that power is retained. There was a cartoon I read, and they said that the president said he's not running in 2027. It was a cartoon that he's walking down to 2027. That is, he's not running. He's walking down because he has everything at his disposal. He has everything at his disposal in that cartoon, and it makes sense. They say the INEC are with him, the judiciary, the law enforcement agent. That is the kind of country where we are. It's only a country where the vote of the people determines who leads them. If we have gotten to that stage, then we'll be happy that in the next election, it's just a matter of 2 years. In the next election, they will definitely be voted out. But is it correct? That is the question. That is the question. With all the reforms, the electoral reform they did here and there, at the end of the day, when those flaws were pointed out in the court, you saw the way court went now. Court decided in favor of them, in favor of the ruling party. Even when there were clear cases that, in short, nobody knew that court will go the other way, but they did. So that is the problem we have in this country. I don't have much hope for change. It's not as if I'm sounding too pessimistic, but there's not much hope for us to have the wish of the people as leaders. There's no much hope, honestly.
Okay, I think Mr. Stanley is already looking like the battle is already lost before even the fight. But taking a look at it, when are we had a situation where an incumbent lost? Okay, thank you, Mr. Stanley. I'm going to Mr. Anosuke now. When last did we see an incumbent losing an election, even in Africa, most especially in Nigeria, apart from, say, Goodluck Jonathan? Does it have to do with the personality in power to determine whether the election will be free and fair? What happened to setting up a structure? Is it that we are not ready for this democracy? We just jumped into it and tried to see whether it will work. And after so many years we've been with this democracy, it looks like things are getting worse. Then what is the purpose of democracy when the will of the people does not stand? When the will of the people are going into an election knowing that their vote is not going to count? So what is the essence of the whole drama? What is the essence of having elections? What's the essence of spending so much money to conduct an elections that the will of the people will not be taken cognizance of?
Well, my friend in Port Harcourt, that's or the way he is sounding. This is change had never come from the top. Change has always come from below, and that's the people. Understand? And once or there's a will, there must be way. Incumbents have been losing elections all over Africa. In Ghana, incumbent did not win. In Sierra Leone, in Liberia, Senegal, and all these countries. Understand? So, democracy, that's what is known as incumbency bias as we speak. Electors don't want the continuation of the same. Electors anywhere in the world, they are tired of we are doing something about it, we are feeling what you are feeling, and so on and so forth. So if Nigeria want the status quo to be maintained, they are on their own. Understand me? They are on their own. In 2023, Labour Party was seen as the third force, and it made a serious impact that shocked everybody. Understand? Labour Party made a serious impact that shocked everybody. What happened? It was the personality of P2B, his reputation. Understand me? And again, awareness, because there were a lot of awareness in the 2023 election, more than the previous elections. Even though most Nigerians lost hope after what that INEC, that judiciary did, and up till now, that hope has not been rekindled, and that's why the cartoon that they talked about Tinubu feeling that the world is in his pocket. I keep on giving an example with Ifeanyi Oba. Ifeanyi Oba was already answering governor in waiting. He never know that he will not even be alive that's for the election.
Yes.
So those of them that are saying that 2027 is a done deal, many of them will not even see that 2027. So the issue is this: Nigerians should wake up. I sounded this alarm in 2022. I said, if you vote wrongly, prepare to suffer. Understand? Nigerians voted rightly, but INEC and judiciary messed their way up. Understand? But we must not resign to fate. Another election is coming. It's not going to be a battle of the politicians. It's going to be a battle of APC versus the hungry Nigerian people. That's what 2027 is going to be. A battle between APC and the suffering Nigerian people. I keep on talking about the democratic rebellion of the people. That's the only way. Let all the governors, they come to APC. Let the INEC, they come to APC. Let the judiciary, they come to APC. A people united can never be defeated. Once Nigeria people are united, there's no rigging that can save them.
Are you seeing the signs of unity? Because we go everywhere, we see Nigeria is more divided than it used to be. We now see
you are not
division,
sure. Unless if the hungry is not enough.
Division across ethnic lines.
If the hunger is not enough.
We see division across ethnic and religious lines.
It's only stupid people that will, because of ethnic group, cover their hunger. Or because of religion, cover their hunger. Because when you go to the filling station, they don't ask you, are you a Yoruba or Igbo? Understand me? It's what how someone buy that an Igbo man wouldn't buy. If you go to the market, they'll not ask you where you come from. Understand me? So whoever wants to use a religious or ethnic lines to cover his hunger, some idiots who were shouting Sai Baba in 2015, their life has remained the same in 2025. So let them use the ethnic group or political party and don't do what they are supposed to do. Understand me? So for me, I'm not begging. I'm not begging. Vote is a currency. Understand me? It will buy for you whatever you want. It can buy you freedom. It can buy you hunger. Understand? So now anyone they choose, let them buy.
All right, let me go back to Mr. Stanley. Taking a look at the claims coming from Rufai, how credible is his claim of having no political ambition, given the timing and tone of his statements?
Hello, are you talking about whether Rufai has ambition?
Yes, his claim of not having a political ambition.
Well, I wouldn't know. I have not heard that he wants to contest, but maybe when the time comes, we'll know which position or what he wants to be in 2027. But the way he's sounding, he wants to be those who will cause change in this country. That is what at least I know for now, that he wants to be among those who will cause change, but that he will contest for any position, president or vice or whatever, I don't know. So that is it. The people, I agree with you that the people, like I agree with my man in the studio, the other side, that the people have so much power to cause a change. But the thing is that an average Nigerian does not want to take risk to the point of, to that point, let me just put it that way. Because what is happening in Nigeria, it has not even happened, half of it has not happened in another country. But you will see them occupying the entire street, the country, everywhere. They occupy the place. Government house, they occupy like as it is, Aso Rock. But an average Nigeria, as you are going at the children, their parents will tell their beg, come back, don't want you to anything to happen to you. We are very complacent about everything. We in Nigeria we believe that there is God. Don't worry, God will take care of the situation. We don't want to cause a change by ourselves. We don't. But when we hear what happened in other country, we'll be happy. Yes, it's good. But come and do it in Nigeria now. They don't have. There is no such guts as it is in other country. Because what we are passing through in Nigeria, in other country, you won't see half of it when they will occupy the streets. But everything we swallow. A man came one day, increased the price of remove subsidy without making plans. We took it. Everything went up. The price of everything. What happened? Nothing. The protest they did last time, you see the suppression. They use government apparatus to suppress people. And at the end of the day, they planned, I think it was a 1 week protest. Before it got to the third day, people were already retrieving, saying, no, we can't succeed in it. That is the kind of people, the leaders we have in this country. They will make sure that they use everything to bring whoever that want to protest against them down. They use arrest, they even shoot. Of course, many people have died in cause of protests in this country. So when you see maybe a friend, a brother, a relation, the next time they will do protest, if the mother or the father will say, I beg you, please, we want you to be alive. Anyhow it is, we will manage. God will help us. That is how we live in this country. You know, we don't want to take our destiny into our hands. They decide for us whatever thing they want. That is why in a state, somebody will tell you that he bought form for all contestants, governorship, House of Assembly, senators, House of Reps. And even before the election, in a ruling party and in a state, they already knew that they are there. In short, once they get the ticket of that ruling party, they know that they are already there. Because you see that if there is even other party that wins, it will not be more than 1 or 2. And the majority will be won by the ruling party in a particular state. It's not as if they are very popular, but because they are using coercive force to ensure that they win by all means, use INEC, use police, use everything to make sure that they capture all the seats. That is the stage of development awareness, the stage we find ourselves in Nigeria for now. If it changes tomorrow or 2027, me, I will be one of the happiest person. But that is the level we are. You know?
Let me go to Mr. Onosike. He's just made mention of the docile nature of Nigerians, taking everything that comes at them in good faith that things will get better. Of course, he's just referred to the last protest, the End Bad Governance protest. Immediately after the protest, things even went up more, and it looks like the more Nigerians were complaining, things were getting more harder. And now, even the politicians are more interested in what's going to happen in the next election than making life better for Nigerians. Now there's a distraction. There's been a change of guard on those who are running the NNPC. There are corruption allegations that the refineries are not working. Fuel is still being sold about 900 and 1,000 plus in some various cities. Nobody is addressing that. Everybody have forgotten about the Dangote refinery issue of Naira to crude. What is the success of that? What have Nigerians benefited from Dangote having a refinery in Nigeria? There's a major distraction now by the political elite who are scrambling and preparing for 2027, forgetting that the masses are still suffering, are still going through hell. Inflation is growing higher every day. $1 now is about almost going to 1,700. There's been no progress in that. The only story we hear that the president has gone to have a handshake with the new pope, and tomorrow we hear that one governor is endorsing the president and leaving the major issues that are facing the average Nigerians every day.
Well, I have said on this program that what is happening in Nigeria is because we don't have that history of struggle. We don't have the history of struggle. We not struggle for independence. Understand?
Sorry.
Nobody can say that he went to prison while struggling for Nigeria independence. So we don't have that history of struggle, and it has been that way up to today. Understand? It has been that way up to today. So you can see during Obasanjo's days, protest doesn't go beyond 3 days. First day, 1,500 people may come out on that first day. We no go agree. Second day, 1,000 people when they come out. 500 has gotten tired. Third day, 400 will come. And when you see that the thing is already pending, you will just cut it off to avoid strike. Shawore told me one day that at times they'll come out for protest. They will be begging for police that to come and scatter them. Understand? They will come out for protest, maybe 1 million man protest. Understand? People that will turn up will not even be up to 5,000. So in their mind, they will be wishing the police come and scatter the protest, so that the story will be that police scattered what would have been a 1 million man protest. So that's kind of a country that we find ourselves, and that's what these people at the top has seen in us. Understand? Somebody said that a country is doomed when the leaders are no longer afraid of the reaction of the people. That a country is doomed when the leaders are no longer afraid of the reaction of the people. So the people in power are no longer afraid of the reaction of the masses. That's why when you protest, they will keep on doing what they are doing. Understand me?
Not minding your reaction.
So they don't care anymore. And that's not the democracy. That is not the democracy, but we must not resign to fate. Understand me? We must not resign to fate.
All right, let's go to the next conversation, where a federal high court in Abuja has admitted into evidence a judgment ordering the Nigerian government to pay Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, 1 billion naira for the unlawful invasion of his residence in 2017. The judgment declared the military invasion illegal, unlawful, and unconstitutional, violating Kanu's fundamental rights. The court also admitted 2 other judgments related to Kanu's cases against the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These judgments were tendered by Kanu's defense team during the cross-examination of a prosecution witness. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services, DSS, has said that it was not involved in the arrest of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, in Kenya. The secret police organization said its operations are limited strictly to Nigeria's territorial borders. This development is part of Kanu's ongoing legal battles against the Nigerian government, and the court's decision to admit this judgment as evidence may have implications for the case. Let me now take it to Stanley Job. Taking a look at this Nnamdi Kanu situation, with Nigerian courts confirming unlawful actions against Nnamdi Kanu and the DSS denying involvement in his arrest in Kenya, who exactly is accountable for the violations of his rights?
How can the DSS deny now? So who invaded the house now? Are they spirits? They can't. It's always like that. When they do unlawful things, at the end of the day, they will come out and deny. They were not part of it. They never did such and did that. Who, if it's not DSS, if it's not government enforcement agent who invaded the place, are they spirits or is it the community, and the kind of community people that invaded this house? Of course, we don't believe them now. They are the one that did that, so they don't have anything to tell Nigerians. So they lack what to tell Nigerians to convince Nigeria that they invaded. They are the one that invaded the place. Nobody will believe them. On the issue of the fine by the court, well, it's a good thing. It's good that the court has taken a decision on that. But the question is that for how long? 2017, since 2017, that is it. You see the judiciary. If it is something that will favor the government, within few months or highest 1 year, they will deliver judgment. It won't be even up to 1 year. Then since it affects the people, you see them dragging on and on the matter and all that for about 7 8 years. This is now you are delivering judgment, and I even doubt whether that money will be paid, because this is a country where people in government does not respect such judgment if it's not in their own favor. If they have said that Kanu should be executed or imprisoned, you will see them quickly. They will just carry out implement the court judgment. So it doesn't give me any excitement for what has happened. Though it's a good one, I'm not excited that 1 billion naira the fine DSS 1 billion naira. But then Kano should just see that it's an opportunity to let the world know that this is what happened to him, and he never deserved that. You can imagine a country you go and invade for what? No excuse for what they have done, but they did it. It's a kind of vindication for Kano, and I think they are even what has happened to Kano is even attracting sympathy to Kano against the government. That is what government sometimes they don't know. There are certain things you do, you are putting yourself in a bad light, and they don't know. They will just go ahead and do it because they have what it takes to do it, all the apparatus, the gun, whatever it takes, But they don't know that they are also denting their image. There are certain things you do, you are denting your image. It's not just that you have the power to do it, but is it right? Is it what is expected of a good government? That is some of the questions you ask yourself. But when you go ahead and do it and damn all the consequences, well, you know that in this country, like we said, vote never counts. If not, for a time for election, this is where they will now use it and pay you back for what all the wrongs you have done. They are doing all this thing because they can have their way anytime. If not, in a very reasonable environment, you know, you can't go to a developed country and begin to do anything because they know that there is a time for you to pay. When you reach the time to pay, people will remind themselves, this is what this government have done, and this is the time to pay them back.
Very interesting. All right, let me go to Mr. Noski. If DSS is denying any role in Kano's arrest abroad, does this imply the Nigerian government has sourced an illegal operation? What are the implications for sovereignty and accountability?
Well, I want to start with the 1 billion naira fine.
Yes.
The significance. It's not just about the money, because they were accusing Nnamdi Kanu of jumping bail. Understand? They were accusing Nnamdi Kanu of jumping bail. So the significance of that 1 billion naira fine and the soldiers' invasion is to show that Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail. Rather, he ran away because the Nigerian soldiers wanted that to kill him. And that a court of competent jurisdiction has agreed to that and fined the Nigerian soldiers 1 billion. So it's not just about the money is not the issue. It is just that to prove that Kanu did not jump bail and that his house was invaded. And there's no way your house will be invaded and you will remain there unless you are a non-living thing. Understand me? So that's why they have to bring that issue, and it was admitted as an exhibit. So it's not just it's not just because of the money. It's just to prove that Kanu did not jump bail.
Yes.
Then on the issue of DSS saying that they were not involved in the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya. Since you are not involved in the kidnapping, why is he in your custody? Understand? Since DSS is not involved,
Maybe he's resting at the DSS
detention
center.
So since they are not involved in his kidnapping, understand? Why? How did he end up in your custody? Understand? So
Does that look funny?
So this is a question that they should ask, which I know is going to be very, very difficult, because a non-state actor cannot go to another country, kidnap somebody and say, put in your cell, and you put. Understand me? So, but we know who Buhari is. He did the same thing in 1984 against Alhaji Umaru Dikko, the Minister of Transport under Shehu Shagari, understand, who was in Britain when the coup occurred. And as an influential member of Shehu Shagari's government, Buhari had to use the state agents to go to UK and kidnap Umaru Dikko. So it didn't start Nigeria government kidnapping people. They did not start today.
Okay, it did not
so
start with an
government they are even the ones that introduce this thing, kidnapping. Government is the one that introduced kidnapping in the country. Understand? Because we don't know anything about kidnapping until Buhari's government kidnapped Umaru Dikko. So when you are being asked how did the kidnapping start in Nigeria, federal government started it. So they should tell Nigerians how Nnamdi Kanu ended up in their custody, since they aren't involved. So for me, it doesn't make any sense.
Does this now say that the government is building their prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu on an illegitimate foundation?
That's why I keep on saying that Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. Understand? Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience, and government has nothing concrete on him. Understand? Because if they have something concrete on him, this thing will have happened under Buhari's government. But now their defense is it's not even standing. Understand?
All right, let's go back to the next conversation, which is really, really very important as far as the fight against insecurity is concerned. Borno State Governor, talking about Baba Gana Zulum, has alleged that some Nigerian politicians and military personnel are collaborating with Boko Haram insurgents. Zulum made this revelation during an interview vowing to strengthen the state intelligence network and deal with saboteurs ruthlessly. The governor emphasized that military force alone cannot end insurgency, stressing the need for non-kinetic measures such as social, political, and economic solutions. He commended the Nigerian military's support for peace-building efforts and criticized the lack of equipment for the military, accusing insurgents of having a superior technological advantage. Zulum urged President Bola Tinubu to listen to ground-level intelligence and professional advice from the military rather than politicizing insecurity. He also expressed confidence in the system for rehabilitating repentant fighters, despite acknowledging that some may return to insurgency. All right, let me now go to Mr. Stanley Job. Taking a look at the situation, the man on the ground, they say the man who wears his shoes knows where it pinches the most. This man is no longer talking as someone who is in the same political party with the president. He's talking like someone who is feeling the heat because he's at the forefront of the war against the Boko Haram. And now the governor Zulum alleging that political and military collusion with Boko Haram. Why haven't there been arrests or high-level investigations if these claims hold weight?
That is the question. That is the question. This is not the first time we have heard that. We have heard this several times in the past. Soldiers are sabotaging. Now it's now politicians and all that. Well, that is one of the challenges anyway in fighting a war like this. There is not only the physical fight. There are also challenges like this to overcome in terms of sabotage and all that.
Yeah.
In war situation, you can't rule out that. You can't rule out that. Even during the Nigerian civil war, as we read, there are always saboteurs, people who sabotage, and it's not for free. They are paid. They have some money given to them, yes, for doing that. The soldiers, well, you know that considering the situation of Nigerian workers, if a soldier is given something substantial that take this and give us also be giving us also information, you know that it's only few people that can say no to it. A lot will say that they have find where they can support their salary or they put food on the table. So it's only few people that can resist it. Then the politicians, they could do it for whatever reason. It could be for political reason. When Boko Haram came in, when it started, the issue of Boko Haram, I think that was Obasanjo's time. A lot of people thought that maybe after the thing started, the next election, that maybe there will be no election again in those states that those fight was strong. But at the end of the day, despite the fact that people relocated, some people left the states, the hot states like the Borno, all those axes, they had election, declared the result as if nobody left those areas and all that. So I don't know, for the politicians, they have their reason for doing that. They want to bring somebody down, I don't know. But for the soldiers, it's happened in all wars. Any war you see people fighting, there are some soldiers who will use that and make money for themselves. They are fighting against an opponent, and they are in one way or the other hobnobbing with the opponent for the fact that they are getting something and review certain information to their opponent, and they know how to protect them even when they give such information. And in this very case, even the community people, we heard several times that the community people used to be a kind of spy for the Boko Haram people. They do this, soldiers are here and all that. We have also had so many cases, and this thing does not go for free. I'm sure they pay them. So the economic situation in the country can even encourage that for that to happen. Yes.
All right, we are pressed for time. Mr. Nosike, Zulum urges that Tinubu should listen to frontline intelligence. Is this a veiled critique of a presidency disconnected from ground realities?
The issue is this: if some people have become billionaires from this war against the insurgents, so they will not want it to end. Understand me? Some people are making real money from it. Then some soldiers may also have sympathy for them. Sympathy in the sense that they know that Nigeria is not working. Nigeria is not what it should be, understand? Assuming that Nigeria is working, they would not have been doing this. Understand me? Just like
Sorry?
excuse me. Sorry. A policeman may, as a journalist, a policeman may pick you up, understand, and say, I know what you wrote. What you wrote is true, but my Oga say I should bring you. Understand me?
All right.
I know that you are fighting for us, but they say make I bring you. Understand me? So some people have a sympathy for them. So in that's why some of the soldiers have said that they may have these fighters in their front, and an order will come to turn and go back. Understand?
Okay.
So a lot of things come into it, or their sympathy, Then some people also feel that these are just miscreants or area boys. We don't want them to be killing our youth.
Wow.
Understand me? So a lot of things come into, and that's the reason why the war has not ended. Another important thing that the governor said that the Boko Haram has superior weapon,
which is really very
the Nigerian army.
Very, very dangerous and interesting.
So for me, that's the most important thing that he said in that speech. That the Boko Haram has superior technology than the Nigerian soldiers.
All right.
Which means the war is not going to end very soon.
All right, we're pressed for time. We have to go. Big thanks, Mr. Stanley Job, as well as Mr. Nosuke, for being a part of the show this evening. And there you have it, the political tensions, the courtroom drama, and the shocking allegations that could change the course of Nigeria's future. What does this all mean for Nigeria? Who will hold the power and who will be left behind? Thank you for tuning in to The Issues, where we don't just talk about the news, we uncover the truth behind it. I am your host, Jerry Apeloi, and our team of esteemed analysts will be back with more insight next time. Stay informed, stay engaged. The fight for Nigeria's future is far from over.